Welcome into the Casual Gaming Conversation. I'm Connor. That's Nick. This is your weekly video game podcast from Co-op 64. We're doing a video game villains bracket, figuring out who's the baddest baddie of them all. Nick, how are we doing?
Doing great. The energy is insane in the room right now. I think that this might be the best feeling I've ever had going into any podcast I've ever shot in the past 5 years.
You're setting the bar really high now, and we're going to go right over it. We're exceeding it, baby. Let's go.
Well, we got the chat going with us. Shout out to the chat. If you want to watch our bracket episodes, go over to Twitch and sub, hit the notification. Just make sure that you are good to go for a Twitch bracket episode. But the chat's been going off. We've been having a great morning. We just shot CGNC, which was a great time. Yeah, I'm feeling good right now. We got the whole freaking weekend ahead of us. Tonight, Scott's rolling in. By the time you see this podcast, it will have already happened, but I'm excited about the stream tonight that we got going on. I'm just feeling good, dude. It's also great to be back in Cincinnati just doing our normal shit. Yeah. Like, it feels good to finally just settle a little bit, which is nice. I feel like the past couple of weeks have been fucking insane, just nonstop doing shit. So I'm excited to relax a little bit in the next couple days.
Yeah, relaxing, playing a lot of video games, having a good time, watching Severance, as I said, on CGNC with Laura, and just really involved in that. It's nice to watch a television show, honestly. Yeah. You said to me that you're like, I'm just happy you're doing something other than playing video games.
Yeah.
Like, I appreciate that, yeah.
No, it is nice.
Oh, I also went to the movies last weekend.
Yeah, it's on Mickey
nice.
17.
I think I might go see Novocaine.
Ooh, tomorrow, it's a rainy day. I bet I can convince Scott to go and rock a fun one.
Yeah.
Is it out? Okay.
It's this weekend. There's a small, like, independently owned movie theater right by me.
You love that place.
I love it. Yeah, it's great. It just kind of like reminds me of the good old days, like when I was a kid or whatever, when things simpler times or whatever. But yeah,
I don't know why it just turned into snakes. Simpler times.
But without further ado, let's get into the housekeeping here. This show is made possible by all of our lovely supporters over on patreon.com/coop64, where you can get this show and CGNC 3 days early, as well as a bonus episode of the Casual Gaming Conversation at that lowest tier. We also have Recollecting Retro, the Co-op 64 podcast, bonus exclusive TikToks available over on Patreon. So if you like what we do and want to support the channel and want to see us flourish, please consider going over to our Patreon and supporting us over there.
Real quick, Connor, I got to shout out. I always try to shout out one thing that we're doing just in content in general during the housekeeping section. The exclusive TikToks. Sometimes they aren't the shining star that Recollecting Retro is, that the Co-op 64 podcast is, that a bonus podcast is. This week's bonus TikToks are must watch. If you are over on Patreon, there is a TikTok that we shoot that is called Video Game Timeline that has the funniest moment that we've ever had in-house.
It's also, can we even call it a TikTok? It's 10 minutes long.
Yeah, it would not go up on TikTok normally. Yeah. It is so gosh darn funny. And I have to explain it, but if you understand what we're doing and like how we're doing it, and I explain exactly that, what we were doing and how we were doing it, you will understand why we were losing our shit laughing. It's so good. So if you are already over on Patreon, or if that sounds like something you want to go and check out, head over to Patreon. It goes up on by the time this podcast goes up on Patreon, it will already be up. It's the exclusive TikToks for this week.
I also think that the PS3, remembering the PS3 episode, is probably one of our best episodes of the podcast ever. Somebody commented this, Liam commented on our Patreon saying, like, I just like hearing you guys talk about like your video game history, your past or whatever. A lot of people point to that our video game history episode is one of their favorites. Yeah. This is kind of similar to that, where we're just kind of, it's not only about just the PS3, it's about like where we were in that time and our specific memories with certain games and times with our friends and how the PS3 influenced us during that time. I think that's a really good episode.
Yeah, I do too.
Listening to that. That's at the lowest tier, $5 tier. Yep. Gets you that episode as well as a whole backlog of a ton of content now.
Almost 10 episodes at this point for bonus pod. Like, if you are about to go on a road trip, I've been in this exact circumstance before where like I got to drive 7 hours. Subscribing to Patreons and then like getting a shit ton of bonus content for some of your favorite creators is just a great move, especially when there's great backlog. And at this point, I do think that there is a awesome ass backlog.
It's going to get bigger and bigger, which is cool. Twitch, we are streaming Brady Shock on Mondays. Me, Nick, and Brady. Brady's first playthrough of Brady Shock we got through the twist, so we are over halfway through this game.
I would say 65 to 70% through.
So tune in for that on Mondays. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, Nick is playing. He's playing Mario Galaxy. I am playing Sonic 06 on Wednesdays. Just having a grand old time. But looking to the future, Skyrim Subathon, March 28th, 48 hours potentially of Skyrim madness with me, Brady, and Nick on the couch, rotating in and out with some combination of us, or just one of us if it's Nick during the late night.
If you want to go and rock and roll with me from midnight until 8 a.m., 2 nights in a row, I go full nocturnal. We make it happen, and it's fucking awesome.
So that'll be noon on March 28th until that Sunday. So come through and hang out with us as we re-experience Skyrim. I think Brady, technically for the first time, is playing Skyrim. He said he's picked it up like at like friends' houses and stuff, but I don't think he's ever like played it on his own.
I need to like this will be the first time I ever beat Skyrim, which will be cool.
I have beaten Skyrim. Discord and merch. We have an amazing community of over 2,400 community members over in our Discord. So if you'd like to join, hang out, talk about games, play games together, make some friends with a shared interest, go over and click the link in the bio for that, as well as our merch, which is available at coop64.com or
coop64store.com.
There we go. I've never gotten that right.
coop64store.com.
It's also linked in the bio, as well as reviewing us over on Apple Podcasts. Consider giving us a nice review over there because it gets the show out to more people. All right. We are going straight into the villains bracket. Nick, let's do this.
Let's do it.
Okay.
I mean, this is going to be just a grand old time. I think.
Can we move these drinks a little bit out of the way?
Yeah, I can get this coffee especially out of the way.
Yes, and then I need you to yank me.
Okay, yank him, Chief.
Yank me, Chief.
There we go. Oh, and plug you.
Okay.
Boom.
There we go. Without a visual element to that, that's going to sound really weird.
Yep, that's it always does. I'm going to keep the water there. My throat's a little scratchy.
No, that's fine. Yeah. All right. Are we in the frame?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
I got to stay far
good?
back because I'm much taller than you. Like, much, much taller than you. You're like
shut your
5'7",
mouth.
5'8",
Okay.
5'4".
All right, let's kick it off. We'll go through who we got here. We have 32 villains, 32 bad guys.
Duh.
There's certainly some that we could have missed, but these are the ones that came to mind. If we weren't thinking of them, they probably weren't going to make it very far anyways. But if we missed your favorite villain, I apologize. No disrespect to them. In the East, we have Liquid. We have King Dice, David from The Last of Us, Ridley, Kefka, Virgil, Ansem, Shao Kahn, Pyramid Head, King K. Rool, GLaDOS, Baldur from God of War 2018, Handsome Jack, Neo Cortex, Luis, and Dutch.
And then in the West, we have Dracula, Dr. Nefarious, Andrew, Ryan, Flowey, Albert Wesker, Xehanort, Bowser, Voss, Kamoshida, Ganon, Dr. Eggman, Ocelot, Sephiroth, Heihachi, Joker from Batman, not Joker from Persona, and Rafe from Uncharted 4.
Yeah, so let's get into the first one. We have Liquid versus King Dice.
By the way, before we get into this, I genuinely believe that normally when we start a bracket, I believe that there's like one of 4 outcomes that can actually happen. This bracket might be the most, like, I could make a case for like 10 different people.
That's fair.
Liquid versus King Dice. This sucks already. This is
Liquid.
really difficult.
It's Liquid.
It is Liquid,
Yeah.
but like King Dice, I think is like a top 10 villain for me, and like Liquid's probably around like 8 or 7.
Not only is Liquid awesome in 1, he's also in 2 via arm form.
Dude,
on Ocelot.
Connor, he's also in the later games too.
Yeah, I imagine.
Yeah, so a shout out to Liquid. Liquid's got to move on.
All right, we're going Liquid.
Also, just in general, we're not going to try to spoil games, but we're doing a villains bracket, so it's like these villains are in games.
The liquid thing is in 2 is like in the first few
yeah.
hours of the game, or pretty early in the game rather. We have David versus Ridley.
David in The Last of Us. Here's the thing.
He sucks.
David's a bad guy.
He's terrible, but Ridley's iconic.
We got the icon status. See, this is something we're going to be dealing with. My thing is, when we are going to be having great icon status later in this bracket, Ridley won't hold a candle to that. Where David outclasses them. It's almost funny. I feel like we're talking about a March Madness. Like this team outclasses them in rebounding and in 3-point shooting, whereas Ridley's only really like they got a good point guard. Like it's not even close. I think David moves on to this matchup.
Yeah, I feel like we're gonna be very heavily PlayStation biased here, unfortunately.
Well, that's the other thing. I think that the best villains in Xbox games are groups.
Yes. We talked about doing like the Reapers, the Covenant, or something like that. It's too broad.
The Flood.
Yeah, you can't do that. And when it comes to like icon status, I think that Nintendo has them beat every day of the fucking week. But when it comes to like depth and like interesting characterization, like I think PlayStation a lot of the times has like those
That's
characters.
something that they're trying to do.
Yeah.
That's a focus of theirs. All right. Kefka versus Virgil. I don't know either, so I can't weigh in.
I know Virgil from DMC1.
Yep.
I think Kefka is the best Final Fantasy villain. I think a lot of people would agree with me. It's between him and Sephiroth for most people.
First time chatter, Kefka, go. So yeah, if you want to run Kefka here, I'm fine with that.
See, I don't want to put disrespect on Virgil, but I'm not gonna allow him to beat Kefka. I'm sorry. So I'm going off of my own personal preference here fully. I understand.
Where's Xehanort on this bracket? I'm just curious. Oh, they're going against Wesker.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to have 2 losses in a row for Cage villains. Ansem versus Shao Kahn is Shao Kahn. It's not close.
No, it's Ansem, dude.
Shao Kahn's like a top 5 most iconic villain.
Give it to the chat. Then.
This one's going to a poll. Shao Kahn from Mortal Kombat versus Handsome Ansem from Kingdom Hearts. Shao Kahn is legendary. That's the issue.
That's fine. I believe you. I don't like Mortal Kombat very much. I don't like the whole fatality, just bloody madness as like a selling point. But as I understand, the story isn't like this thing that people really point to be like the story.
But some people
in
love.
these games.
Some people love. And here's the thing:
Okay.
Good fighting game villains aren't necessarily about the story. It's about the present.
Yeah.
It's about being badass. And Shao Kahn is one of the goats.
Ansem, Seeker of Darkness from the first game.
Yep.
Who then repeatedly
we'll get to the
shows up in other forms.
Yep.
But we have Xehanort over there
Yep.
as like a separate entity.
But you got
Guardian. Yes, indeed.
real quick, I would need to shout out Goops, who's going to be running the polls for us during this. Perfect amount of time on the polls. I think he put a minute up, and that is the right amount of time. Connor, you want to press that drop down arrow as we look to Pyramid Head versus King K. Rool. Also get your votes in.
See, this is icon status, but I think Pyramid Head also has icon status. I would go King K. Rool.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so. They're both great.
I would go Pyramid Head.
Yeah, Pyramid Head's also awesome. I don't know. Like this is kind of a toss up for me.
Pyramid Head
This
is
is a
really
coin
funny.
flip.
I was watching some Min-Max content and I was watching a
Ansem?
playthrough of
Come on. Wait, is
2
that
votes
over?
away. No, it's 2 votes away. Oh, that's gonna do
There
it.
we go.
Handsome
Ansem,
moving
20
along.
to 17. We love
Ansem
to
isn't
see it.
even that handsome, but Handsome Ansem just rolls off the tongue too well.
Yeah.
You know, we got Handsome Jack in a minute. But yeah, Handsome Ansem moving
Oh,
on.
Ansem versus Kefka.
Let's get a move on.
Pyramid Head versus King K. Rool.
Let's get a pull up for
I think
that
I'm
one
going to
too.
lose this for sure. But
Yeah,
I
Pyramid
can
Head
live
King
with
K.
that.
Rool. I don't know. I thought also Shao Kahn would
Do
have
we
moved
even
on.
need to talk about this one? GLaDOS versus Baldur?
The issue is, I would like to give Baldur their flowers, but it's a similar thing to King Dice, where it's just like
you can't go over-
GLaDOS is
like
the
one of
top
the
5.
goats, yeah.
Easy. Thanks for getting that pull up, Goops. You're the goat.
Handsome Jack versus Neo Cortex.
Here's the thing: if this was a different doctor,
Nefarious?
dude, Dr. Nefarious is that guy.
You're taking Nefarious over Handsome Jack.
Once again, I'm not a big.
Handsome Jack is on GLaDOS level,
I'm not a.
but is way worse than GLaDOS in my opinion.
yeah, I don't think that they're on GLaDOS level. Is the issue.
Handsome, but we don't decide that. Though.
Yeah.
We're talking like just in pop culture at this
Sure.
point. GLaDOS and Handsome Jack, I feel like are on at least the same footing.
Okay, but I think that GLaDOS is just
So
much
Handsome
better.
Jack, we're moving.
Yeah, Handsome Jack's good to move on. I'm just not a Borderlands guy.
Yeah.
This is a tough one.
Luis versus Dutch. So you haven't really gotten into Red
I haven't
Dead.
gone to. Dutch is on this list, so we can start there. But like, if you played Red Dead 1,
Yeah.
cool. Luis is a top 5 villain for me all time.
I feel like we both don't know enough to know enough about Luis. I know more about Dutch. I think we just give this.
But
to
here's
people.
the thing, or you can go and just trust me,
Yeah.
and say that Luis is top 5. I think that they like dog walk some of my favorite characters on this board. Luis is that fucking good. Luis from Metaphor, yes.
And who won? King K. Rool, baby! Let's go!
The problem with Luis is recency. That is the only problem with Luis. That is the only flaw that you're going to be able to poke in their case. They are so fucking good.
Dude, the sirens are just
Yeah,
popping off today.
I also do live kind of close to a fire station. Yank me, chief. Plug me. And so it sort of is what it is. All right, Dracula versus Dr. Nefarious.
It's Dracula. Easily.
I'm going to go with Dr. Nefarious.
Dude, this is not even
Dude,
close.
I understand it's goated, but do you understand how goated Dr. Nefarious is? I think that modern gaming, Dr. Nefarious is one of those guys when it comes to icon status that Dracula doesn't have anymore.
He has the lines, Nick. What is a man? Nothing but a miserable pile of lies or something like that.
If you can't nail the line and you say he's got the lines, Connor, we got an issue. Here's what I'll do. I will move on. Actually, no, too many people in the chat are on the Nefarious train. Let's get a pull up, baby. Come on. I was about to move Dracula on, but I'm like, nah, it's got to be the Doc. Anyways.
I'm looking up the Symphony of the Night line. I need it.
Great. Let's move on to the most difficult matchup in this entire game.
Oh, I was really close. What is a man? A miserable little pile of secrets. Damn it. I said lies. I said lies.
Pretty close. Let's get we're getting a pull up. Shout out to T-Brew for the resub. Shout out to all the people that have followed and subbed since we started this thing.
Appreciate you.
Andrew Ryan versus Flowey. Connor, we're going to disagree.
Here's the situation here.
Yeah.
I can accept Flowey. Spoilers for BioShock. Okay?
I'm going to have to time code it.
But it's key to my argument. Really.
That Andrew Ryan, it might not be...
He's not the main villain.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Like, that's the problem. I can accept Flowey.
I really like you today, man. We got a good energy going on. Holy hell. Ryan's cool, but Flowey's better. That's the thing. I think Flowey's better.
He's not the
Yeah, I know. We
I
just
think
leave
Andrew
it at
Ryan
that.
is cooler.
Dracula
personally.
moves on with 85% of the vote.
Yeah.
Holy hell.
Right.
Do
you want to give this to the people, or I want to see what they say.
Can we move on Flowey though? Because we both are on board with that.
I want to see what you guys say. Andrew Ryan versus Flowey, but we're gonna do Flowey here.
It's gonna be Andrew Ryan for the poll, but Flowey is the better one. And once again, as always, I gotta remind everyone we're the ones that decide this thing. Mm-hmm. That's how we go. So we both agree. It doesn't matter what y'all say, but everyone's gonna say Andrew Ryan.
Wesker versus Xehanort.
You already got a handsome anthem.
This man, Xehanort, has been plotting and planning since the early days of existence. Dude.
I understand.
He is bald and ready to fuck shit up, man. He's ready to Nort everybody he can possibly Nort.
You're Norta boy. That might be my all-time favorite line in any BGG video.
The long game of Xehanort is so good. It's so good. But I also, from the Resident Evils I've played, Wesker really isn't like a big part.
We
played 5.
We haven't played 1.
Yeah, that's like the only one.
We haven't played the game he's the villain in.
Yeah. All right, so do we give it to the people?
I think we got to give this one to the people is the issue. And Connor, do we have to give it to the people? Do you see the amount of people that just tossed in Wesker's name? Yeah. It's going to be Wesker. Wait, I'm curious to see where you go with this. Let's get a poll.
That's bullshit. I would rather
Andrew Ryan with 52%. It was close.
Nothing crazy. So we can live with that. Yeah. Just know that we're not out of our minds going with Flowey over Andrew Ryan. It seems pretty split. Can we get another poll for Wesker versus Xehanort, please? And then we can move on to Bowser versus Voss.
You want to do Bowser versus Voss?
It's Bowser.
This is where icon status takes over.
He's the LeBron James in this situation. You can throw some scrubs around him, and he's going to get you to the championship. And I mean,
that's what he does with that entire Mushroom Kingdom lineup. Right. He's the big dog. He's going to let you do exactly what you need to do. Have you seen the SNL skit where it's like, I'm the other Cavaliers on, or I'm the other? Yeah, great skit.
And then Voss, same situation as Andrew Ryan, gets kind of pushed to the side. Kamoshida versus Ganon.
Sweet Ganon. It's Ganon and his sweet Ganon.
Kamoshida fucking sucks though.
Yeah,
and
I think Kamoshida and David, when we're talking about like evil, it's not evilest bracket. It's just between villains.
Yeah, guys who just absolutely suck, dude. Like the worst of the worst.
Ganon and his sweet Ganon.
Dr. Eggman versus Ocelot. Eggman sucks, dude. Eggman is a terrible.
Oh my goodness, just right, Ocelot.
If it's Jim Carrey though, I mean, this may be a different story. Don't look back.
This sucks for me, by the way. Connor did me so dirty. Heihachi versus Sephiroth. It's Sephiroth.
What do we got here? Wesker, 66%. You guys have no taste. And by no taste, I mean I have no idea if Wesker is better or not, but I just know Xehanort. He's good.
Sephiroth versus Heihachi. This is messed up on so many levels, Connor.
Sephiroth. But
it's Sephiroth.
We're not letting Sephiroth go to the end. He sucks. He's not that good.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to go to the end either.
Okay,
Connor.
good. Thank you. He should lose to Joker next round.
Yeah. We got to move Joker on also.
Yeah.
Both performances unbelievable in the Arkham games. It's
Yeah.
Joker. Yep. We're taking all of Joker. We're not taking either just Hamill or
Baker.
Or Baker's performance. We're taking every Joker performance. Connor, we're in the Sweet 16.
We're talking Liquid versus David. Fuck, man.
Yeah, this is really tough.
Yeah, I think you kind of got to go Liquid.
He's
He's got more time to be villainous.
I am going to go with David. Here's the thing. Here's the issue. Once Ocelot's going to move on past Cannon. So I have a MVS boss already in this race. That people are not going to be happy about that.
That's not going to happen.
We'll see.
If you put it to a poll and you're cooked, Ocelot loses
I think I can convince
15
you.
to 85.
I think I can convince
No,
you
you
it's
can't.
the issue.
No, you can't.
Maybe. But David is, when we're talking about specialization, I think David being pure evil is like, he is pure evil. He is
Despicable.
He's as bad as it gets, you know? And then Liquid is like a phenomenal villain. He's a big bad, but I also don't think that he gets enough time where David uses his time very well. It's close. It's close.
You have multiple games with Liquid.
Yeah, kind of. But yeah. Liquid moves on for me. Yeah.
Iconic, dude.
Yeah. Damn. Peace out, David. Like, once again, though, at the start of this bracket, I thought there was a chance David won it. You know, like, that's. Do you need a
Maybe
new marker? That was good.
once it got going, it started working.
Yeah, you do the ring it out.
Kefka versus Ansem.
That's a great way to go and get the juices down there. Kefka versus Ansem. I'll leave it to
Kefka,
you.
Yeah.
Sure.
That fucking
Good
laugh,
night,
man.
Kefka. Next round. Jeez Louise.
No, Kefka beats Liquid every day of the week.
Not even close.
King K. Rool versus GLaDOS. Not a conversation, right?
This was a triumph. Yeah, GLaDOS moves on.
All right. Handsome Jack versus Luis.
Okay. Let me get in my Duffy real quick. By the way, you need to stay standing up because it looks really odd when I break these out. When you're sitting down and I'm standing up.
What do you got to say to me? It's Handsome Jack.
Don't put HJ in the chat. I made that joke earlier to Connor. I was like, let's just abbreviate it. But geez Louise. I need you to understand how good Luis is as a villain. I'm going to put it to a poll.
I've heard everything. I've heard all the praise for Luis.
Yeah, I got to put it to a poll. I like,
and honestly,
you know how when you're going to lose, it's okay.
I think Handsome Jack is way overrated, personally.
Yeah. Luis is a good, nuanced villain that you go back and forth of like, do I understand what he's saying? Nah, he fucking sucks. Do I understand what he's saying? You do that like 7 different times, and they try to pull you in so well. This game is not like a Persona. It is straight up shouldered by Luis as this performance. In the performance last year, I know we got brought up often of like, which one from Metaphor is going to get the nom? It should have gone to Luis. I think Luis's villain performance is like top 5 villain performances ever. The monologues, so fucking good. The presence, so good.
Yeah, from the limited experience I have around Luis, I think he is menacing.
Here's the thing, Connor. Whoever wins is set out to fucking die. And so if you want to just let me be happy for like another 4 minutes.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Guys, if I let Luis win, he's losing to GLaDOS.
Yeah,
anyways.
I'm okay with that.
Well, let's see what they got. Yeah, Handsome Jack, 74% of the vote. Yeah, fuck it. I'll give it to you. And I can't.
Luis moves on to the Elite 8.
You have no power here, chat.
Okay, we're moving on to Dracula versus Flowey.
I understand that Handsome Jack would just get the legacy pick here and then get bumped by GLaDOS, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Let's give the kid what he wants.
I made a good argument. All right, Dracula versus Flowey. This is tough. For me, it's not.
Dracula, iconic, menacing.
Flowey?
The castle. Has a castle, Nick.
Connor.
Does Flowey have a castle?
Connor.
No, he doesn't,
They
Nick.
have one of the coolest art styles
Does the
ever.
castle upside down?
Why do you keep saying that on podcast? It makes me very upset. This is not close in my opinion. I think Flowey has there's a moment in
Is Flowey in an anime?
Connor, wait, let me get my points through, please. Flowey has one of the coolest moments in any game ever. Legitimately, like, kind of terrifying. Like, when it starts getting going, you're just like, oh, holy shit.
It's pretty neat.
No. It is fucking unbelievable. And then when shit hits the fan in that moment, it is nonstop gas for the rest of the entire game. It is so unbelievably good. Are we going to pull up?
Yeah, I'd say you gotta take a pull.
That's fine. We can do a pull. But dude, it is insane how good Flowey is as a villain. Also, real quick, the fucking music at the end of that game, which is like Flowey's main. Holy fucking shit. I know the Castlevania music's pretty baller. It doesn't hold a candle. Wesker versus Bowser. We're both Big Daddy Bowser on this one, right? Connor? Wesker versus Bowser. We're both Bowser. Yep. Big Daddy Bowser is gonna get moving. Bro's a niche micro celebrity. We talking about Dracula?
Who are we talking about?
I don't know.
All right. Let's go Ganon versus Ocelot. It's Ganon. Come on.
It's not. Connor, let me break. Connor, we are talking about, they both have a lot of legacy in video games. Ganon doesn't have personality.
Yes, he does. In Tears?
Oh, I think that he has.
And just because you're not speaking, like, well,
he has a presence. He has a presence.
He does speak and all.
Here's my thing. He has a presence that's really cool to him. He has icon status like Bowser. Ocelot is, I think, the most well-written villain of all time. Not in video games. I think he's the most well-written villain of all time.
I think that icon status here carries. You have to.
Ocelot's not as iconic, but here's the thing. Whatever, like, present, the most well-written villain of all time. And I don't think it's close. If we can put it to a poll, what I'm asking people to do is not just vote
Dracula with 96% of the vote.
Fucking shit! I didn't realize that people love Dracula this much. I don't know what's happening here.
All right.
Ganon has legendary status. Debate on that. Yes, I do believe that he has legendary status. That is not what we're doing, though. It is not just the best villain on icon status. If it is, Bowser's going to win. Yeah. Bowser's not going to win this bracket, everyone. I need to move Dracula.
Hit Dracula. Let's get another poll up for Ganon versus Ocelot.
Connor, I'm willing to make some money moves here.
I'm giving you lots of leeway here.
Here's what I'm saying. I'll move Dracula on into this fucking fight. Ocelot's the most well-written villain of all time.
I believe
and if, by the way, if you fucking play these games, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I have 2 games under my belt with Ocelot.
You don't have 2 more games. Okay. The 2 more games. The ending of Metal Gear Solid 3 is fucking goated.
All right, so we're moving Joker.
Ocelot should win this bracket. Frozen Crushes, you are fucking correct. Yeah.
Joker over Sephiroth. Yes?
No.
Really?
No, Sephiroth. Connor, Sephiroth.
No, it's not even close.
If we want to do fucking icon status in general, Sephiroth has a way larger presence than Ganon, especially when he's been in a shit ton more games at this point. And he's fucking badass. And he has actual purpose to his shit compared to Ganon, who never really has a lot of purpose to his fucking entire plan. He's just bad. Sephiroth's not just bad. There's some level of nuance to him. Joker, great villain. I'm not going to take away from Hamill's performance or Baker's performance. Great
and
villain.
There's depth there. There's
but it's not Ganondorf with 74% of the votes. You guys are fucking cowards, chat. Cowards.
All right, let's get Sephiroth versus Joker.
Why? Do I even vote on that?
It's Joker, Nick. Sephiroth isn't that good of a villain.
I'm going to fucking burn this entire company to the ground if Sephiroth and fucking Ocelot do not make it to the Final Four. I swear to God.
This looks right to me, honestly. You got Luis up here, Nick.
Connor, you gave me 1 to get everything else. You got everything else. And
that's not true. There's other ones that you got. Flowey. There you go.
Against Andrew Ryan, we both agreed to that.
I ended up giving it to you. I was just like, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
that's I can't even write it yet. If you guys are a bunch of jokers, if you do not vote for Sephiroth here, oh my fucking God. Connor, I swear to God, I was going to ruin my entire weekend.
There's a back and forth, 10-9.
This is going to ruin my entire freaking
10 to
weekend.
12. Come on, people, vote. Let's see what we got. Sephiroth versus Joker from Batman, not from Persona.
Yes, not from Persona.
Can we move on to anything else right now? Or
I mean, we move on to
Liquid
versus Kefka. Can I vote on this? Damn it won't let me vote. Please.
It's too late. You're
my gosh. I'm cooked. I'm fucking cooked.
How about we do Liquid versus Kefka? And are you going to say Liquid?
Yes. Yeah.
No, it's Kefka, dude. Evil incarnate.
If we can take Ocelot and if we can put Ocelot over there instead of Liquid, I'll make the same argument. And let's get Liquid or Ocelot in this Final Four. I understand that Kefka's a baddie. Liquid is, in my opinion, if you played the Metal Gear games, he's the big bad sort of deal.
I can't really discuss all the reasons Kefka fucking rules.
Play FF6. I need to play FF6. I will play FF6, and I do want to give you credit that Kefka rules and everything. I'm going to lose my fucking mind.
I can't describe it without spoiling the game, though.
I understand, so you can't describe it.
There is so
we gotta just put this
much,
one to a poll.
and it's not even only because of Kefka. It's about the way the story plays out. It's how he's weaved into it. The different villains of the game, where he stands in reference to them, where he ends up later in the game.
You need a Metal Gear villain in the Final Four. Well, guess what? Connor wanted to crush those fucking dreams, and the entire chat crushed those dreams. Y'all voted Joker over Sephiroth. I don't trust the chat. I don't trust Connor anymore. I swear to fucking God, this is
Joker!
awful. This is a awful Elite 8.
I'm loving it.
Y'all don't know ball.
So are we gonna vote on this, or
Yeah, we need to put a vote too. It needs to go to
Joker
a vote.
versus Liquid? Sorry, not Joker versus Liquid. Kefka versus Liquid.
This is a fucking diabolical joke. It is a disgusting sense of humanity. You moved Dracula on with 96%, and you couldn't find 50% to move either Sephiroth or Revolver Ocelot along in a fucking villains bracket, and we're not in the final two? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Oh my
The
god.
crash out has begun. Kefka is so entertaining, just pure chaos. Yeah. And he does some fucked up shit.
I'm more fucked up than just
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I'm just asking. I'm not going to debate.
More
obviously.
fucked up than Sephiroth is what
Yeah,
you're gonna
that's
say?
the
Oh,
worst.
yeah, way more fucked up.
Okay. I need a hug. Dude, it's what, 12:50?
Nick,
I
you
need
gotta
a
play
beer.
Final Fantasy VI.
I'm down to. I'm playing FF10 later this year on stream. And then 6 is the next one. I'm going to pop a blood vessel. Concrete. I have never been more disappointed in our chat in my entire life. I am dead serious. Not moving Ocelot on against Ganon, that's one thing. That is because I get it. Ganon could win a villains bracket, and that's an acceptable answer. Moving Joker on past Sephiroth is a disgrace to this company. It's a disgrace to casual gaming conversation, and it's a disgrace to me as a human being.
You said Sephiroth wasn't going to win anyways, so
Connor, because I thought it was going to be Ocelot versus Sephiroth there, and Ocelot is the most well-written villain ever.
You're the only man doing the draft here. We're all a part of this.
I understand.
Nick.
Connor.
There was no universe in which Sephiroth and Ocelot were going to be the last two.
No, I'm saying those two there. I thought it was going to be those two there, and then Ocelot would have went on because Ocelot is the best villain ever. Ocelot's the best villain ever, and he didn't get out of the round of 16.
Kefka with the win.
I'm fine with that. I can live with that. Once again, I'm not upset with Liquid Game Bouncer. I am gosh darn really upset about this. The best villain ever. The best villain ever.
GLaDOS versus Luis. We cool on this?
Yeah, GLaDOS moves. Bowser versus Dracula. I think that
Can
this.
I get them marked,
yep,
please?
take it. I think this is where Dracula is seeing his final day.
I don't know, Nick. Dracula's pretty menacing and scary. And
I'm saying for video game villains,
has some
it's a disgrace.
characterization.
If we were saying that like somebody specializes in one area the best, I don't know, what does Dracula do that's better, like to the highest quality that Bowser doesn't do? Because Bowser does something to the highest quality, which is he's the largest icon when it comes to video game villains.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I need the marker back. You got it? Oh my god.
The crash out is indeed real. Ganon versus Joker. What are we thinking here?
A petition to swap Ganon for Ocelot? They voted. Brampton beat. Oh man, I'm really upset. Bowser's just a homie, apart from kidnapping and things all the time. He just wants to get married.
Joker versus Ganon.
He's a bad person. Ganon, yeah, obviously.
I would go Joker.
Really?
Yeah. The Joker is a fucking iconic,
yeah.
amazing villain, and I think he has more characterization and more in-depth backstory and gets to do more, generally
You're telling me
speaking.
that Joker's a better villain than fucking Ocelot?
I don't know, Nick.
Connor, of what you know. You're telling me that Joker's a better villain than Ocelot?
100%, yes. It's not even close. Let's get it in the chat. Joker.
Oh my fucking god.
Joker versus Ganon. Or do you want to...
Somebody's saying, oh, Connor, I know. It's okay. You haven't played 3 and 4 yet of Metal Gear.
so
It's fine.
that's all I can do.
It's fine. And it's all you can do. I understand. You understand. It's hurting my soul.
Joker isn't a better video game villain than Ganon. That's a good... I think that is the biggest factor here. Is that
What?
Joker is like really popular outside of it. But you can just take Joker from the Arkham games and that's it. And I think that
They're better than Ganon from the Arkham games?
I think he's more interesting. Yes.
Connor, more interesting. You lost that argument already.
I don't know. You're basing your interest in Ocelot off of 2 games that I haven't played. And that's why we let it go to a poll and they voted for it.
Connor, I understand. I want to be honest with you. I'm not upset with you. Like, at all. This is fine. What's happened today with you and I is fine. I will sleep easy tonight after playing some great music with Scott. It's going to be a great time. I'm so disappointed in the chat. So disappointed in the chat. I'm happy. I might not be on stream next week. You guys might have canceled stream.
I'm stoked.
You canceled Christmas, chat. You canceled Christmas.
You guys are doing a great job. Keep it up.
Oh, you guys are having a lot of fun. Thank you so much for being here.
50-50 for Ganon versus the Joker. Back and forth here. Get your votes in. A few more seconds. Damn, am I going to lose this one? I think I'm going to lose this one. Oop. Guys, it can't end in a tie. Cannot end in a tie. One more vote. One more vote. Break the tie. Oh, there you go. Ganon ends up 3 votes in the lead. Ganon
4.
moves on. Oh, really?
22 to 18.
Oh, I got another one, right?
You want to write it or you want me to get in there? Boom. All right. I want to also just real quick. Fine by me. Kefka being there, Final Four, sure. GLaDOS, of course, has to be here. Has had a dog walk to the entire Final
just
Four.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it wasn't
owned
close.
this side of the bracket.
I think we talked about GLaDOS for 7 seconds.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about GLaDOS a lot more in the next couple minutes. I might not get what I want, but once again, I'm fine with that. Bowser makes total sense. Ganon, I'll also throw out there, like, if you're talking about just a video game bracket.
It's the second most iconic villain, right?
I'm trying to think. No, I think Sephiroth's more iconic.
No.
Yeah, I do.
You think you take a picture of Ganon in any of his iterations and you show it to people
I think
on the
if I show
street?
Ganon or Sephiroth, I think more people will say, I know who that guy is.
I actually think it's pretty close.
I don't know what their name. I assume random person. They would say, I don't know either of their names, but I know Sephiroth. That's sort of where I'm at.
Yeah. I think Ganon's more.
Sephiroth is more
notable.
iconic for sure. Yeah.
Okay. So how do you want to do this? Kefka versus GLaDOS? Who we moving here? I don't have that. I'm not that impassioned about this, honestly. I think it's very close.
For me, it's GLaDOS.
You see, like, I can live with that. I think Kefka getting to the Final Four, that's as good as I can ask for, honestly. Yep. GLaDOS is too excellent of a character, menacing, funny, the whole package, honestly. Bowser versus Ganon. Are we doing Ultimate Icon status here and just going Bowser?
Well, here's my thing. Ganon, I don't know what Ganon beats Bowser out in.
Yeah.
In anything.
Backstory, like, has some interesting backstory
I
through
think
his
like
different
Mario
eras,
Odyssey
through his
does
iterations.
it. Like, he does have a couple of cool, interesting backstories. But like, I think that they're both large, big bats that you want to go and take down because they're the big bats.
Yeah.
They don't have fucking personality too much. I think Ganon in like Tears and Breath of the Wild is cool as shit. But like, you're cool. I think Bowser's also pretty fucking cool.
So do you want to go Bowser here?
I do want to go Bowser.
I can live with that. Yeah. So you're getting what you want, Nick.
Dude. I don't even start. Shout out to the people coming to Twitch Prime. Don't you know that if you have Amazon Prime, you have Twitch Prime?
GLaDOS versus Bowser? We're going GLaDOS? GLaDOS is the winner. Wow. I feel like
GLaDOS didn't get talked about at all. GLaDOS is, in my opinion, in a perfect game and in a very close to perfect game. They are funny. Their humor to this day continues to hit. It will always hit. I think that it's just legitimately really fucking funny writing. I also think that they're fucking terrifying and really scary. Yep. Having them in your ear throughout those experiences are phenomenal.
If you remove GLaDOS from Portal, I think the game still functions, obviously, but I think it like knocked the game down like 2 points.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
She's essential to this character, to this world. Yeah.
Let's do the fun part of, if we had it our way, where would you end up? Final Fours and then your winners.
Kefka is the winner for that one.
Yeah.
GLaDOS is the winner for this one. I would take Xehanort here, probably.
All the way. Nice.
Yeah, Xehanort, and then
you have to choose a Joker. You already said would.
Yeah, I think
be.
Joker would probably be the winner there.
So you'd have Kefka, GLaDOS.
I don't even like Joker
Xehanort,
that much. I just I don't like Batman that much. Like yeah, it's really just kind of respecting the game there, dude. Like, you got to give it to him. So Joker versus Xehanort. I'm taking Xehanort. GLaDOS versus Kefka. I'm probably going to go GLaDOS there. And then GLaDOS versus Xehanort, I would go Xehanort, personally.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me, it would be Liquid from this top left side.
It's gonna be Metal Gear, Metal Gear, Metal Gear, Metal Gear.
But it will be. GLaDOS easily. It's closer than you think between Luis and GLaDOS.
I can understand.
But it's GLaDOS. For me, Luis would be around my like number 6 all time, 5 or 6. Yeah. Over here it is Flowey. I think the Flowey. It's but real quick, if you don't know, if you're watching this live and if you're just somebody that follows the podcast and you haven't heard me say it, my favorite indie game is Undertale. I listen to Undertale music almost every week. Like I adore Undertale. Flowey as a villain worked so fucking well for me and literally perfect for me. So it's one of those things that like you don't need to be around for a long time. Like GLaDOS isn't unlike a 25-hour, 50-hour, 100-hour game, but if you're doing it perfectly, then I'm going to give that a lot of credit.
But Flowey is only there for really the end of the game
And the start.
Yeah.
And that's the
But
perfect.
it doesn't really emerge until like the final fight.
That's why
I didn't know if that
works.
affected anything.
And then down here I would have Ocelot. I think that Ocelot's the best written villain of all time.
It's an Ocelot versus
Flowey. I would take Ocelot. GLaDOS versus Liquid. I would take GLaDOS. And then Ocelot versus GLaDOS. I would take Ocelot. I think that Ocelot's the best villain of all time. Ocelot's also my favorite top 4 favorite character ever.
We both end up with GLaDOS in the final 2.
Yep.
And then we have our separate own personal pick. And then we end up, I think the middle ground is GLaDOS.
It's really funny. The middle ground is on this side of the bracket. The reason that this is all so messed up over here compared to personal opinion is icon status. I don't know what the fuck we're doing here. I genuinely, this bottom left side of the bracket, I will never be able to, if you voted for the Joker or again, like I personally, you hurt my feelings. It's personal. You made it personal somehow.
I agree that Ganon and Joker are better villains than Sephiroth at the very least. I can only speak off of my experience for Ocelot from 1 and 2. And he's interesting. He's good.
The hard part is 3, because I think that in 3, it is like not. Let's even take back like the villainous aspect of it. Performance wise, I think that performance goes toe to toe with the best of the best. Like it is just so fucking good. And then what it does is where it goes. It's just like it's the best shit ever. And then 4, it's everything works in 4. Everything works when it comes to the villain aspect. It's really funny. I think that you're like, I've only played 1 and 2. 1, he's kind of like he's in the rogues gallery.
Yep.
And then it just gets.
I wonder why Kojima was like, he's the one. You know what I mean? Like
because he's got the boots and the guns. Come on, Connor. It's so good.
Have you ever seen the video of Kojima doing 1-2 switch against Greg?
Yep.
And they do like the gun game, and like he wins, and then he does like the Ocelot like flipping. I think that's so funny and cool.
Yeah. No, it just
dude's awesome. I love Kojima.
Yeah, we talked a lot about Kojima on Casual Gaming News Conversation. If you want to hear us talk about Death Stranding, which I know a lot of people did in the Discord, they were like, like it would have made sense to talk about it on stream the next night, but I was away. Just a heads up, that's going to be up on Patreon later today, up for everyone else on Monday.
Connor glazes Kafka too hard. I mean, we're talking about the best Final Fantasy villain is the thing. And if we're talking about Final Fantasy, we're talking about a series that is kind of known for its big bads. And when you have that, and at number 1, you kind of got to go with them. And I can't glaze him as hard as I possibly can unless I spoil the game. So
once again, not having a MGS villain in the final 4 is like a disgrace against humanity.
The thing is, for me, in MGS villains, from the ones I've played so far,
it would be Psycho Mantis for you, right?
No, it's the fact that everybody's strong. You know what I mean? Like Psycho Mantis isn't so much better than Sniper Wolf or Vulcan Raven.
Once again, I think that the only things that make Liquid and Ocelot more special is the fact that they go beyond the initial.
So like I'm just talking about like I think that Metal Gear is so known for its villains that not one of them stands out in particular for me, at least so far.
Kefka's better than Sephiroth. I'm fine with that
for
take.
Sure.
Once again, my issue like Sephiroth versus Joker, I'm just like, if we're just talking about video games alone, like I think something that you didn't do when you were discussing Sephiroth was go and bring in the fact of the Rebirth series and like how good he is in the Rebirth series.
It doesn't move the needle for me, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's as interesting in Remake and Rebirth as he is in the original.
You're also not you're forgetting about Crisis Core. Sorry, bud. He's so good. He grinds his score.
He's pretty good.
He has the coolest scene in any game. Actually, Connor, we need to do coolest scenes in video games draft. What's my number one would be that fight scene.
Genesis and Angel.
Yeah, that's the coolest scene in any game I've ever seen.
So
and then number two, Ocelot and 3 with the revolvers.
Yeah.
That I can watch those scenes forever. For those who don't know, our intro to the stream is a rotating video game clips with the starting soon. And Connor and Brady sent me a list of games that they wanted in there, and they both sent me like 25. I went and only added like 10 of my own because it was really late at night and I was just burned out from editing. The 2 things that I was like, I need to have in there is the Sephiroth and Shield and Genesis and Ocelot flipping revolvers. And it worked really well.
Yeah, nothing's really like sparking my mind of specific scenes. Well, there's one from Rebirth that I would point out.
Yeah. For the coolest scenes?
Yeah. Best scenes.
I mean, for the coolest cutscenes, I could go all day.
Yeah.
I could choose 5 from Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
And be very happy.
All right. We are going to transition over to hot takes right now.
My gaming hot take is that we need to remember that Joel in The Last of Us 1, not a great person. Just remember that. We're about to go into season 2 of The Last of Us over on HBO. And I think that a lot of people are going to be upset about certain things. And I just need to remind everyone that the man that is Joel, even though we love him, he's not a good person. He's not a hero. He's done a lot of bad things. Just a quick reminder. So when shit hits the fan, we're not talking about a saint by any means. I feel like when most people beat The Last of Us 1, they understand Joel, but at the end of the day, Joel is not a good dude. Just a reminder that is the case. I understand that that's I don't think that should be a hot take necessarily.
Yeah.
And I feel like nowadays it kind of feels like that it's a hot take to say. Joel, not a good person.
Yeah, the feelings on Joel across the video game community seems very disconnected from the reality of the character and what the team at Naughty Dog seemingly wants us to feel and think about Joel, which is that it's very gray. Like,
yeah,
we don't exactly know what he's done in those 20 years in between the outbreak and when we see him later. He's alluded to the fact that he's not done great things, and then we see him do not great things in The Last of Us 1. And then I just don't really understand the idolization that he's just
gained over the past 10 years.
Like, people love Joel. You can't touch Joel. Anything happening to Joel is not okay. And it's just like, I don't know, man. Like, to be in this world, you have to do fucked up shit, and there needs to be consequences for it. And that's the case for everybody. And that's the rules that they've set in The Last of Us. And that's what we've seen in The Last of Us over and over and over again. So, yeah, I don't get the whole Joel situation personally. Cool. I think Ellie's a better character than him anyways. I think Abby's arguably a better character than him. I think they're all on a similar level, honestly.
I think that they're all some of the most well-written characters ever. Sure, I think Joel's one of the most well-written characters ever. But he's not he's not fucking Link, dude. He's not Link. He's not a hero. He's not somebody that like you're supposed to be like, I want to become that person. You're actually supposed to not want to become that person. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't want to go too in depth because of spoilers. So I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, I think that we did a good job, dancing around certain things.
My gaming hot take is that I want to see the return of Motor Storm, this PS3 iconic in quotes because it's not around anymore, racing series. I think that Sony has lost a lot of its whimsy when it comes to their first party output, and MotorStorm is by no means Little Big Planet or anything like that, but at least it's like this more arcadey racer. You're racing through like this crazy terrain, your car is exploding in slow motion. It's super fun, super engaging. For me personally, I'm not about the GT racer type of life. I would like to see PlayStation get back into the fold with something a little bit more focused on just having fun and fucking flying off of cliffs and stuff and using your different types of cars and everything. Like, MotorStorm fucking rips, and people don't talk about it enough, and that is my hot take for this week.
I mean, I love fun racing games, but I find that fun from the apex of racing games, which is Forza Horizon 5. And so I don't need it, especially with things like Forza coming over to PlayStation here in about a month. I don't need it. But I would give it a shot. If that's one
Yeah.
of those like games that came out, I would definitely want to stream it and hang out. And yeah,
What about something like Wipeout? Wipeout fucking rules too, and that's is similar. It's different, but
The
it's
hard
similar in the
part-
way that it's about like just fucking going fast as fuck.
the hard part is having fun with a game for a night or two and then falling in love with a game like Forza Horizon 5. And I
Yeah.
don't see myself falling in love with a game like that. Like there's games like extreme sports games like Shredders that would come out and like I'd be like, that looks cool. I might play it for a night or two. But like Forza Horizon 6 is going to be one of my most played games ever, I assume. So
Alrighty. So now instead of doing a regular draft, we're gonna do a way too early game of the year prediction. We're both gonna go 6-1 back and forth and predict what we think is going to be nominated for game of the year. Do you have odd man out? Do you have on the outside looking in?
I have one.
Okay, I have 4, but I'm gonna save those for the end.
The end, for sure. Do you want to just rip all 6 of yours? And
No,
we do
we do 6. You do 6. I do a 5. You do 5. Is that the best way to do
yeah,
it?
you want to go up the ladder of like most guaranteed?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
I have that. That's how I have ordered mine. Did you? Do you?
I can do
yours
that
in
on
order?
the fly. Yeah, I can figure that out real fast. I got that.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat here. Alrighty.
ahead.
Should I just intro it? Like, okay,
Yeah.
I guess we just do it the same way. Today, we are doing our way too early game of the year predictions. So we're going to go 6-1 back and forth predicting who is going to get nominated for the 6 slots for the Game Awards at the end of the year based off of just speculation and vibes. We're probably going to be completely wrong, but we're just guessing here. And I think it'll be a fun time to try to figure this out and see how wrong we were at the end of the year. Nick, what is your first prediction for number 6?
Yeah, this is
6th
my
most likely.
Yeah, this is my 6th most likely. I don't think it's going to be surefire by any means. But Expedition 33, I do think is going to be there in the big dance when it's all said and done. The previews were phenomenal. People just are talking very highly about this one. It's got a phenomenal cast. I think that the themes that they're trying to explore, if they do it well, that is game of the year type quality stuff that we normally see when it comes to people in the industry loving these grand stories with very deep themes. I think that Expedition 33 will be there in the big dance at the end of the year. Connor, what's your number 6?
My number 6 is Death Stranding 2. I think it's barely going to get up there. And it's not about the quality. It's just about how this game seemingly puts a lot of people off. And I think that based off of what we've seen with Death Stranding 2 and the excitement around it, more people are going to get in to this than were into Death Stranding 1. Hopefully Kojima has adjusted a little bit his framework to get more people in. I still think it's going to mostly be a package delivery simulator, but I think it has a shot at being in the dance at the end of the year.
Love that. With my number 5, I'm going to go Split Fiction. I think that this is an interesting one because it will be there unless we get many bangers. Like it right now, as it stands, we are about 3 months into the year. And this is, in my opinion, the most surefire one to get in. It does something that no other game does. It is the banger co-op game. It is fucking awesome. And when people are talking about GOTY season, it's hard to remember everything that happens in a game. But I promise you that every single person that plays this one will have remembered the finale of Split Fiction. And that's going to carry a lot of weight. So that's why it's at number 5.
My number 5 is Metroid Prime 4. Long awaited. These Metroid Prime games are always well beloved when they finally come out. I think it will likely be a Switch 2 launch title alongside something like Mario Kart 9, where a lot of people are going to be picking this up for the first time, raving about it. And I don't think that they would have put this game out if it wasn't great. They had the opportunity to just cancel it outright. But Retro was like, we have something we want to do here. Let's do Metroid Prime 4. And they took the reins, and now it's finally coming out. I think it'll get up there by the end of the year.
This is so interesting. My number 4 is GTA 6. If it comes out, it's going to be there.
You think it's number 4 because you don't know if it's going to come out?
I don't know if it's going to come out.
Okay, so it's nothing to do with...
It doesn't have to really do with the quality. I will throw out there that I do think that there's a world that it comes out and it isn't there. There's a world. It would be a colossal failure, but we've had moments like Cyberpunk. Like that has happened in the industry. Rockstar normally doesn't miss, but also we thought CD Projekt Red never missed, and then there was that situation at the launch of that game. So in general, though, GTA 6, number 4, that's sort of where I'm at right now. The other 3, I feel like are even more so locks on the year for Game of the Year.
My number 4 is Doom: The Dark Ages. Doom 2016 was nominated. Doom Eternal was nominated. It's another Doom game. From what we've seen, looks fucking rad. I think it's going to be up there for sure by the end of the year. id Software doesn't miss. So,
all right, my number 3 is my number 3 is Metroid Prime 4. If it comes out, and I do think it's going to come out, like I feel a lot more better about that coming out than something like GTA 6. If it comes out, it's Metroid Prime. Metroid Prime's 1 is one of the greatest games ever. Just period, bar none. If somebody said that's the GOAT, I wouldn't disagree. They're some of the most well-designed games ever. And I think that if it comes out, it's like a guaranteed like 94 to 97 on Metacritic. So that's going to be there.
The way I did this was I took everybody's word for it. If you say 2025 and that hasn't been updated, I'm going to just believe that for now. Is that how I feel generally speaking? Like overall, the GTA 6 is going to come out this year? Not necessarily, but I do for the sake of this, if it does come out in my ranking for Game of the Year, like that's how I decided here. So my next up is going to be Ghost of Yote. I think that based off of the first one, Ghost of Tsushima, they really just need to build off of the framework that they've already set out. And if they do that, they're a lock for Game of the Year. People fucking love Ghost. People still bang the drum saying that it should have won in 2020. It shouldn't have. But I think that with that in mind, that it is almost guaranteed to get up there.
My number 2 is Death Stranding 2. I think that after the trailer we just saw, this game is going to be played by the people that fucking love Death Stranding. I think Kojima is in their bag right now. I think that they are fully like, hey, you want to know what? It feels like it's been about like 10 years since I've released like one of the greatest games ever. It's time to release one of the greatest games ever. And I think that this is him going and refining the formula that was Death Stranding 1 to make it just a little bit more saucy than a walking simulator. We talked about there's chances that you might not only be playing as Norman Reedus in this game. There's a world where that happens. I think that there's going to be a lot more extra gameplay outside of the walking sim that is Death Stranding 1. I think that this is going to be an all-timer. From the way that this game runs on the Decima engine, I think that it's going to be one of the most gorgeous games ever. I think that the music that we've heard already, the soundtrack's bumping, and Kojima doesn't miss. The people that also vote on stuff like this, they really want Kojima to go and win. People love Kojima games, and like normally the artsy-fartsy type games go and win out in the industry. So that's why it's on my number 2.
My number 2 is 3D Mario. The unannounced 3D Mario game that I would say is like a lock for being announced at this Nintendo Direct coming up here shortly. So I think it has a very good chance of winning. Yeah. Honestly, like a very, very good chance of winning. It really depends on GTA 6. So yeah, I'll leave it at that.
My number 1 is 3D Mario. If it comes out this year, I don't know if there's something. GTA 6 has a shot at it. But I feel like also it's really hard to like destroy the open world game at this point. Like there are high bars in the open world game, one that they already set with Red Dead 2. And Red Dead 2 didn't win Game of the Year. 3D Mario is, you just assume, as it always is going to be one of the most creative, fun platforms of all time. I think that it will come out this year. Like pretty gosh darn sure that's going to come out this year. And if it comes out this year, potentially a 97 on Metacritic, 98 on Metacritic, like this could be the highest reviewed game ever. I think GTA 6 has a chance to be the highest reviewed game ever. I think this has a better chance. So that is why it's at my number 1.
I think it could win Game of the Year. I don't think it will if GTA 6 comes out. And that is my number 1. GTA 6 is, I think, the most likely to get nominated for Game of the Year. I think it's just a shoo-in. When it comes to like winning, I think it probably is the odds-on favorites. I always try to set my expectations accordingly for these kind of big, massive games with a lot of hype around them to like not get out of hand or whatever. But I am excited for GTA 6, and I'm excited that everyone else is excited for it. So I think it's a lock for Game of the Year nominee.
To my odd men missing out, Ghost of Yote, I don't think it gets nominated this year.
Yeah, it's wild.
And once again, we got to remember, Ghost 1 didn't break the review scale. We're talking about games, every single game
Neither
that I just
did
listed
Death
out.
Stranding.
I understand, but I think that Death Stranding 2 is going to not fundamentally change what people are doing, but also people now understand what that game is. I think Death Stranding, all the games I listed are going to be 90 pluses. I don't think Ghost of Yotei is going to be a 90 plus on Metacritic.
Okay.
And then the other one is Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter obviously is gained a hell of an audience, and it's well deserved. But we're talking about one of the most stacked years ever. So
yeah, I guess I don't have anything so far this year that is out on my list because my odd men out are Split Fiction, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Monster Hunter Wild, so for the ones that have come out, and then I also have Expedition 33, which I waffled on. I had it up there and then I moved it down.
What's your number 6 again?
Number 6 is Death Stranding 2.
Okay.
And because I could see Monster Hunter Wilds getting up there over Death Stranding 2, I could see Split Fiction getting up there over. I could see Expedition 33, depending on how good it is.
It's really hard because right now I legitimately am like, there's a good chance. I'm not saying that it's guaranteed, but you were like, I wouldn't bet on a 92. I'm like, I'm at the point that I think there's a over 50% chance that this gets a 91 or above on Metacritic. Okay. You want to do a donut bet on it? Death Stranding 2 Metacritic?
Sure, yeah. I'm rooting against my own.
Yeah, so no matter what, you get to win. So either it's a great fucking game or you get a donut.
Yeah. So 91 and below, I get it.
I'll take 92 and above, which is insane. But I'm just seeing the fucking engine. There are cutscenes in that game that are better than like in that fucking trailer that are better than some video games. So I don't know.
Yeah. Cool. I also had Mario Kart 9.
Oh, it's so difficult.
I think there's a chance it's just a racer though is the problem.
Yeah, I hope it gets there, but I also think that if Metroid and 3D Mario come out, it's gonna be really hard to put 3 Nintendo Switch 2 exclusives up there. But yeah, we got Patreon names we gotta read.
Alrighty, this show and all of our shows are made possible by our lovely supporters over on Patreon. The members at the highest tier get their name read at the end of each and every episode. Members like Logan,
Hope,
Tyler D,
Scooterman,
Dinkelberg Rules,
Senshuro,
Ryan V,
Go Nash,
Neutral Sphere,
Charlie W,
Stooby Dooby,
Calvin M,
Nuke This Kingdom,
Crispy,
DJ Zach B,
JC,
Uli,
Jacob D,
Big Mac,
Metal Nate,
The Patty Cake,
Bear Pog,
Yogi,
Damn,
Holden M,
Shane O'Mac,
Con C,
Brock,
Voodoo,
Dr. Pookie Bear,
Alex the Golden,
Andrew H,
Master Diz,
Jesse F,
Drifter, X1, Skirt Skirt,
Presto,
Maverick,
Goops,
J-Matt B3,
Ali Ben Ali,
Michael B,
Vorpal Matt,
and Brian. Thank you so much for supporting the show, and we will see you on the next one. Peace out.